So, Ashley,
Yes.
what app are you on today?
None. None at all.
Well, I wonder who's going to come on today. Anybody interesting? Usually we have people that are interesting come on here. Where are you going?
I'm going in here because my phone doesn't like the charge on it. But
Your phone charges better in the kitchen than here. Oh, really? Well, I thought I'd come on for a little while. Yes, there's about 6 inches to 7 inches of snow outside. I'm not used to snow. I haven't been around snow in a long time. Welcome to Hollywoodland22. Yeah, I'm here. Like I said it would be. Hi there. Jessica Henley. Hi, how are you doing? Welcome to Hollywoodland22. I answer questions. I'll answer your questions if you have any. Okay. Good. You're doing good? I'm glad. I'm glad somebody's doing good. I'm glad I woke up this morning. It's snowing a lot here. Yes, in North Carolina. I heard down there in South Carolina it's snowing a little bit too. Certain parts of it, the western part. And here in the suburbs of Raleigh, North Carolina, it's snowing a lot. I wasn't aware that it snowed here. Oh, really? Let me see. Don't do it. Don't do it. That's right, you're gone also. Yeah, that's a very serious thing. That's stupid pretty low. Yeah, it's stupid pretty low to do something like that. You're gone now. E11 LOT dash D6W7W. Hi, how are you doing? Welcome to Hollywoodland. It's really your channel. This channel is going to go in the direction that you want it. I made that decision. Ortiz, 7176. Hi, how are you doing? Fatima Estrada. Good. Hey, bro, I'm here. You would look insanely good with lipstick. You think so, Marlon Star 808? I've never worn lipstick before. That's because I'm a guy. Yeah. Let's see. Fatima Estrada said hi. It's Elliot. Oh, you're Elliot. Hi. Hi, Elliot. Okay, how many people here are from the United States? I have to know. I just really have to know. Who's from the United States here? Oh, really? You do? Well, you know what they say, everybody has opinions. Marlon Star 808 in Hawaii. Oh, in Hawaii. That's a place I have not been. I would like to go to Hawaii sometime. That's on my bucket list, definitely. Marlon Star, Kona. You know, I almost forgot about snow. I lived in Los Angeles for so long with no snow and practically no cold. I almost forgot about snow. If I did not see it on a television news program or in a film or something like that, I would have totally forgotten about snow. I never did look up at the mountains. I'm not a fan of San Bernardino, so I never went out there and looked up at the mountains and saw the snow at the top of the mountains. No, I was down at Van Nuys somewhere. Looking at a sidewalk and palm trees from somewhere else. Dust, concrete, and stuff like that in warm weather. You remind me of the dude who does his own stunts. The dude who does his own, you mean like an actor that does their own stunts? Some of Tom Cruise's movies, he does his own stunts, but I don't think I look like Tom Cruise. I don't know why people used to say that, but I don't think I look anything like him. I don't think I look like any actors. Maybe there's somebody. I haven't watched television probably in about 15 years, though. Hello, man. My name is Ishak from Egypt. Hi. How are you doing? My name is Jessica. Hi. GoofyFN.official. You do look like. I thought somebody said, I've been told I look like Kurt Russell a lot. Somewhat. I can see it somewhat, but a little bit. I tend to think I look like myself. I'm trying to think, do I have a relative? Well, in the face, I look like my mother's mother, yeah. On my mother's side, my grandmother, yeah. When she was younger, yeah. I look like her. and her father. They're where are they from? Yeah, I got some old pictures of I got some ancient pictures of my great grandfather. It's interesting. My mother's father, who was a Marine, that guy was tall. He was still alive when I was a little kid. I looked at a picture of him when he was like, I don't know, probably in his 20s or early 30s or something like that, And I am the spitting image of him. But he looked more stern than I do. He was a Marine. He was like an honor guard at the White House. Those guys that stand in front of the front doors and stuff, those guys, way back in ancient times, back in the 1914, 1915. Yeah, I knew a guy that was alive back then. Yeah, that's right. That means I was alive in 1975. He must have been, my great grandfather, he lasted until, I think he passed away in 1978 or 79. You know what? That was a feat to live that long. If you were born in 1897 and you lived to 1979, being that he was born before penicillin or aspirin, and he survived the Spanish flu. Wow. You know, people used to have a lot of children back then. People used to have like people get married and have like 8 kids. Maybe, 5 would make it. Oh, I remember. Your name sounds familiar. Habiba. Yaha. Does anybody here have any pictures of your relatives from a long time ago, ancient times? I mean, ancient times, like before World War II, like way back in the days. I got a photograph of, I guess it would be my great uncles and my great grandfather, but they're my great uncles, I guess. And I have pictures of them when they lived. I think they bred horses or something like that somewhere. What's that town called? Outside, is it called North Platte? Is that what it's called, out in Nebraska, in western Nebraska? And there's pictures of them. And they didn't look like they were in a really good mood. They looked like they had to work all day long. It looked like it was windy out there. Cold. I don't think air conditioning was invented. Could you imagine? Could you survive? If you were born 100 years ago, do you think you would have made it? It's a beautiful topic, really. Somebody has some old pictures. Oh, I do have a picture of my mother's father in some island in the South Pacific when he was in the Marines, yeah, in World War II. They used to dig a hole after they took over the island on their way to Japan. They would dig a hole, take all the fruit, and I don't know what they lined the hole with, but they would take all the fruit on the island from the trees and throw it into this vat that they made. Yes. And they would let the fruit rot. until it turned into alcohol. And then they would drink it. They were making alcohol in Polynesia somewhere. I'm talking about the little islands. I'm not talking about like Guam or Saipan, although he was there. Like Wake Island and all these little islands. They had to go island hopping on their way to taking over Japan back in the 1940s. Yeah. So they would just take the fruit, throw it in a thing, and they let it rot. And can you imagine that? I guess they were awfully creative, huh? Not really. I'm not part of that crowd. Not really. I mean, I vote, but I never tell anybody who I vote for. I grew up in a family of, my parents were raised by their parents in the Washington, D.C. metropolitan area. And my grandparents and my parents told me to never talk about politics or religion in the public square. That's what they used to be like back in ancient times. Yes, they used to be like that. And I don't talk, and this is definitely a public square, but I do enjoy listening to everybody else talk about their political stuff. Oh, I go watch their channels. Watch them duke it out. It's interesting. GoldenEye 777. Thinking about the whole process is crazy. What, the process of taking all the fruit off of the trees in the South Pacific that my grandfather and his surviving Marine friends did? And then they took it and they threw it into a hole and then let it all rot and stirred it up and turned it into homemade alcohol. I wonder if it was strong. I wonder if it was like Everclear. Could you imagine how, God, what were they doing? I don't think they wanted to think about stuff that much. They just wanted to get wasted before they had to go to the next island, huh? I can't even believe if he didn't survive, I wouldn't be here. That was a different grandfather. It's interesting. Like my mother's side of the family, her dad came from like, they didn't really come from money. Like I think my grandfather had to be a taxi cab driver after high school, like to make extra money in Washington, D.C. Just scraping by. And for a time, I think he lived in foster homes and things like that. But you know, part of my family, they were people that came to, what they did is after these wars, they came to Washington, D.C. Say if you're a guy and you're in the military, especially if you're an officer or something, when you come home from the war, you get first dips on a federal job. I mean, I had one grandfather that survived World War II, so he got to be he got to work at Walter Reed Hospital, you know. And I think the other grandfather, a great grandfather of mine, he came back and from a different war, and he got to be what was he? Before the CIA, he was a spy. He was sent down. He could speak German and Spanish. He was down in the Panama Canal area when they were building it, and he also was an honor guard at the White House. And he was, what else did he do? Oh, he was a police officer for a long time. That was most of his career. He was a police officer when they used to have a homeless problem in the 1930s. Did you know they had a homeless problem in Washington, D.C.? No, not Israeli. He could speak German and he could speak Spanish and he could speak English. But they had a lot of people spying down there or keeping watch out when they were building that canal. I read about it. We have a family history. I read about it. But he ended up being a police officer when he got older in Washington, D.C. And I discovered from my family that in the 1930s, during the Depression, there were tent cities. And I looked at pictures of them, and they were bigger than the tent cities that you see like in California. They're in Washington, D.C. There's just homeless people all over the place. They call it, what did they call that? Was that called Hooverville or something like that? They're just people just living in all kinds of forts and living in abandoned cars and all kinds of stuff in the 1930s. And the mall near the Smithsonian Institute. And he was a police officer, and he had to go make his rounds around that area and make sure that people were not acting up. You know, got to police that area, you know. So we've had gigantic amounts of houseless people before in our country. You were there. You were in a time machine. Bums? No, not really. There was a. We didn't have the safeguards on our financial system that we have now. A lot of people lost their money. The banks lost their money, and the jobs dried up, and there was a lot of just regular people. It's really the same thing now. I'm going to be honest with you. It's really it's at the point right now in California where I lived out there for 34 years. I've never seen this many people without a place to live in my life. There must be at least 80 to 90,000 homeless people in Los Angeles County. It's all over the place, and they're not all on rugs. I can assure you of that. There's elderly people living in cars and all kinds of stuff, and they really need to get it together in California. Florida's got an issue too. Florida, Arizona, Texas, and California, but California's the worst I've ever seen. There's too many people living on the streets. Ridiculous. Whoville. Oh yeah, Whoville. Not Whoville. Whoville's like, that's like from that what was that? Some Dr. Seuss book about some elephant, and the elephant was like listening to the end of a flower, and everybody thought the elephant was crazy, but he wasn't. There actually was a little city on the end of part of a flower. Yeah, the Dr. Seuss book. Yeah, that's Whoville. It was called Whoville. Momo Mosh Momo. No, I was never a girl. I've always been a man. You're either born a man or a woman. It's a biological fact. I let you all in here. I don't care. I don't know if anyone knows that. Do they teach that in school? That almost 100 years ago, not 100 years ago, but maybe 95 years ago, there used to be homeless people all over the place. I mean, per capita, maybe in numbers too. I'm not sure, maybe in raw numbers, but also per capita, more homeless people back in the 1930s than we have now. It's totally possible. I think it is. And also, there was a lot of unwanted children. They were in orphanages all over the place in the 1930s. Yeah. Yeah. A lot of people don't know that. And a lot of them ended up being young men fighting in the Second World War too. They're already tough by the time they got to the front lines, huh? Can you imagine that? Life is such a piece of cake now. Life is so easy now for most people, not all, especially if you're an American. If you're an American, for most people, not all, but for most able-bodied persons, even for people that are handicapped and stuff, I would have to expand that to all people. For all people in the United States now, if you had the same, if you were living 100 years ago in 1925, and you were like a 20-year-old guy or something like that, you're out of school, you're working at some little job somewhere. Could you imagine how much harder life would have been for you? That's why they look so old. By the time the people were like 35 years old, they look old because they have to work on all those jobs that are really hard with no air conditioning. Working in factories. Did they have labor laws by then? 1925, could you imagine? Or 1926? I don't know. I bet a lot of companies were not following the law. I bet a lot of companies had people working like 14-hour days, 7 days a week for peanuts. What do you think? Wouldn't that suck? Flexicano 887. No, it's not Kurt Russell. I know. People have been telling me that my whole life. Well, my adult life. Since I was around, I don't know, like 30 or something. Yeah, I'm glad I was not born in ancient times. I think air conditioning is awesome. Could you imagine if you went on vacation, right? And you decided to go to Brazil somewhere? And you're in a hotel somewhere and all of a sudden the air conditioning broke? Wouldn't that suck? This message is held for review. Good morning, sunshine. Rockstar Hadier. Where am I from? That's a good question. Originally Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Lived in Los Angeles for 34 or 33 years. I can't remember. No, 32 years. 3 years in Seattle, Washington. And I'm enjoying North Carolina right now. Inside, away from the snow, of course. No, it's not a wig. It's my real hair. No, I'm not. I'm not a celebrity impersonator now. I never did understand the whole celebrity thing until I talked to one. I'm not going to tell you who it is. smoking a cigarette in the parking lot. I mean, I lived in Los Angeles for 31 years, I think, because the other 3 years I was living in Seattle. Yeah. It's really odd. How am I? I'm doing fine. Really. No, 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 no. Well, that's interesting. You should say that. I've spoken to a handful of people that maybe, well, maybe not a younger person, but I maybe some younger people, some middle-aged people or people my age. I've talked to a handful of people in the last 31 years that you may have recognized from maybe a television program or a television commercial more than anything else. That their faces are that were at one time um, like people would recognize them. Yeah. But the interesting thing is that when I was living in Los Angeles for a long time, um, when I first lived, the first 5 years or so I lived there. When I was in public, it was where I lived. I lived close to an area called I lived close to an area of Los Angeles. You might not know this area, but the area is called Tarzana. And I lived around there. And you go to the grocery store, you'd see somebody, and you would think that you knew them from somewhere, but you couldn't put your finger on it. They're probably somebody that used to do television commercials or something. And in your brain, you thought you had met them, but you didn't. They were just that happened to me a little bit out there. It's just kind of an odd feeling. But you don't really run into people that are like, when you live in Los Angeles, you got to understand the county has like about 10 million people in it. You're not going to run into like a really famous movie star, probably ever. I mean, unless you lived in Brentwood or something like that, but probably not. There's a lot of different kinds of people that live out there in California, especially around Los Angeles. There's a lot of factories out there. You run into a lot of factory workers. What do they make there? They make furniture, soap, toys, um, clothing. Well, they used to make gasoline, but I heard that there's some refineries leaving the state. That sucks. What else do they make out there? All kinds of nuts and bolts and parts for airplanes. They used to land the space shuttle out there north of LA, up in I think it was Edwards Air Force Base. They used to land the space shuttle. They don't have the space shuttle anymore. Yeah, that would really that I think that would be a little bit difficult way to live. You know what? Ray Liotta was a really good actor. It's sad that he passed. He was kind of young. I enjoyed his movies. I still do. Field of vision, 0 is the answer. Well, I never worked in that business. No. I've had friends that have since passed away. It's a couple people I know are still with us. They're retired now, but they worked in the television production business. What was that? I think the one guy worked at Technicolor. There's a whole bunch of people out there, editors, and most of those actors are waiters or bartenders. And that guy's gone. I really don't know. I would like to see a healthy television production and film industry in the United States. I really would. It employs so many people. Well, at least, well, I guess in New York too. I don't know. Maybe in Florida. Definitely out in California. I mean, a lot of the economic health of the San Fernando Valley section of Los Angeles depends on a healthy entertainment industry. I heard it's not doing too well right now. Oh well. Let me read this. This is interesting. I'm 30. Amar 0999. I'm 30. Every woman I had left me cause I was boring and I was focused on work. You should be focused on work at the age of 30. Yeah. Building up your career. Yeah. You tried being funny and charming, but that is not me, and it makes me exhausted. Well, you know what? At being 30 years old, I'm aware what's going on for you younger men. It's not easy. There's something going on. There's something going on, especially if you're in the United States. I don't really know what it's like in Europe, but if you're in the United States, and I can't say anything, I really don't know what's going on in Australia, Canada, or the rest of the West, but in the United States right now, there seems to be some kind of an issue with the younger men and even the middle-aged men of being able to the dating world. There seems to be an issue between like a lot of men in our country and women don't see eye to eye on a lot of things. I don't know. I think it might be the economy. I don't know. A lot of people are not getting married and having children like they used to. Excuse me. If you're a millennial, younger or older millennial, you really got hit hard. I have my theories. You got hit hard. A lot of you. It costs a lot for a house. The rent is expensive. The food is expensive. It's outrageous. What is it? The average price of a house? What is it? Like $400 and something $1,000, $410 or $15,000. That's crazy. And where? I mean, Texas and Florida are nice, but they're hot with bugs and stuff. I'm just saying that that's a lot of money. That's for a new house, like one that was just built. That's pretty tough. I can only imagine. Things were different. The 1980s and the 1990s were a different time. Adjusted for inflation, in my opinion, things were less expensive. I think in many ways life was easier. There are less people living in the United States. In fact, it's really not my opinion. I actually know a lot about why a house costs a lot of money. And why a studio apartment costs $1,500. It's not worth it. That's maybe 350 square feet. You'll get that in Florida or California. It's crazy, I know. I think things will get better. No, I wasn't. At high 07199 says, wow, you look 40. Thank you very much for the compliment. Thank you. I'm really just happy I woke up this morning. It's not pity. It's not, I don't want you to get me the wrong way. For the millennials that are the younger people, I'm not pitying you. I'm saying it's not a lot of why things are so expensive right now and currently out of reach for you. A lot of it is not your fault. I see people struggling. I see people like in their 30s and stuff. They're not young people anymore. They're like somewhere between like, I don't know, 30 and 45 or something like that. They're working and working and working. I see them. And they're like, maybe them and their girlfriend will get married one day. Maybe they'll be able to afford a 1-bedroom condo. But it's definitely not going to be in some hip, slick, and cool place like California. I don't know. The fake Brad. I know you're that American guy. Yeah. Yeah, I don't think. Transformers. More than meets the eye. Have you done AI Jesus? Says constant throwing. No, I have not. They have an AI Jesus in my church now, and it turns off the fire alarms and locks the automatic doors, so they have to turn it off every few days. Really? You look like Arthur Morgan. I'm going to look up who Arthur Morgan is. I'll do that for you. And I'll shout your name out. Barbaro. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Constant throwing. I've got a solid sci-fi trilogy. Yeah. I'm sure at the fake Brad, you wish I was trans, don't you? You know that transhumanism is already dying off. You know it's not going to work. It's over. It's all over. Well, we're going to have to go to top messages because there's too many people saying things that are inappropriate for YouTube. Oh, you think they're rotten? No, they're not. They're broken. That's a fake tooth that broke. Don't buy fake teeth. They'll break. And then you lost all that money. You might as well not have a tooth there. I think there's better options now. Implants were not all that good when they first came out. John Marston. What's up, George Michael says Chanos I00. Ace. Modern American Dream. I'm sure you did. Ash Haran said, hi, how are you doing? Welcome in. New Zealand. That's another place on my bucket list. I'd love to go to New Zealand. Hawaii. New Zealand. I want to go to Perth. I don't know why. Tijuana has the same climate. I heard a lot of Brits are moving to Perth. Well, moneyed people are moving to Perth. It's really nice weather, I heard. No. I am what I eat, and you know what that makes me. Figure it out, Tyler Mythfum. Where you live in South Philly? Big South Philly guy. 215. 215, that's in the Center City. Don't you have like a couple of area codes now? I know Philadelphia like the back of my hand. I grew up there. Theories. Well, I don't think I said anything that was a theory. Egg and crack, you're funny. You're awesome. Keep up the good work. Me, Moni, YOVO. Who hurt me? Nobody. No. Team 7030, no. And I'm glad I'm not. Cameron Scott, 8060, donated $5. That's great. Thank you. No, that's going on. That's going on. That's some kind of meme. Have you heard someone scream with no lungs? It's Kurt Russell meets Jim Carrey. I've heard that before. That's funny. Don't listen to them. Your life is worth it. Kurt Russell, is that you? No, that's not. I'm not Kurt Russell. What do you think my name is? Eastern Seaboard of the United States. Nickname unauthorized. Greetings from Burbank, California. Yes, I used to live close to there. Oxnard and Colfax in North Hollywood, yeah. I lived there. I've also lived in Tarzana. I lived in Chatsworth. And I've lived in Hollywood itself. That was Yucca and Whitley. That's the first place I landed. That place was a little bit crazy back in the 80s. I'll never forget it. Well, after dark it was. It was different. It's not nice like it is now. It's from 20 veterans versus 1 liberal. Dax Simpkins, 9183, said hi. Hi. Mr. Cali Guy, Alan. Nickname unauthorized. I'm just a simple soap opera writer. I did not know that they, well, I would imagine so. You could write from anywhere, right? I wasn't aware that they had, I guess you can, I guess some of you writers live out there in Burbank. I thought that soap operas were done in Manhattan. I wasn't sure. I don't work in that business. I thought I heard someone say that once. I know the writers have gone. Oh my God, how many times have the writers gone on union gone on strike? It's just like the whole San Fernando Valley just goes bananas whenever the writers go on strike. Mr. Ragdoller, never seen glasses with glaucoma. That's kind of funny. The NFT virus. You know, soap operas may become very popular in the years to come. Maybe the near future. Maybe there'll be a lot of stay-at-home moms in the next 5 to 10 years, and they're going to want to watch soap operas. Team 7030, great eyes. Thank you for the compliment. Alam Makbar, you think that's funny, huh? You think you're funny, and you're gone. Goodbye. I'm so nice on here. Dax Simpkins, 9183. Hi, people. My cat smells like peanut butter, says I'm Millie Medina, 666. I wonder why. No, I'm definitely not gay. Not at all. I've done some traveling around. That's a good question. Itchy fingers. Too much. Once is always too much, even once. Even one time is too much. Hey, man, I have a question, man to man. Just answer yes or no. Shatashin box. Box. Probably. That's a good idea. Does he still make film? Maybe I should be. I don't know. I'm a little bit too old to be a stuntman. I should have thought of that when I was younger. I would have actually done that. When I was younger, I would do just wild things. Maybe in my 20s, early 30s. Yeah, I probably could have been a stunt double if I was trained to be a stuntman, yeah. Because I'm physically active. I'm very physically active, but I'm too old now. What was that film he was in? Was that Escape from LA or Escape from New York? He's a good actor. He's a really good actor. He's funny too. Do you play Fortnite? No, but I want to learn how. James Schrader, out of a job with AI. Ew. My dad showed me some new marching snare drum, and I just bought one. Bought you a marching snare drum. Oh, you're playing a snare drum. That's a way to make a lot of noise. Okay, nickname, unauthorized. I work for Peacock. I am only assistant writer for Days of Our Lives. Nothing big. I'm still a junior in the field. I think that's wonderful that you have a position as an assistant writer for Days of Our Lives. And I mean this. I really mean this. I do believe that soap operas are going nowhere. And I think they're going to be popular way past my time. Started on the radio, went to television, and I think they're going to be really popular. And I think there's going to be a resurgence. That's just my personal opinion. I think the culture is going in a certain direction. I think that if the economy gets better, if these younger men and women can get over whatever they need to get over and get married and bear some children, if you have a better economy, you'll probably have a higher percentage of women that are stay-at-home mothers, and they're going to watch soap operas. Women just love soap operas. They do. Well, I'm sure some men do too. Maybe they're stay-at-home dads. Who knows? Maybe they like soap operas. Maybe some retired people like watching them. I wonder who watches these soap operas now. I wonder if it's a bunch of retired baby boomers watching these things. I don't know. I'd have to ask somebody who's in the know about who's actually watching these programs. That's really interesting. Who is this? Timu James Dean? No. That's a strange question. Gold Prospect King. I really don't know the answer to that question. Do people from Hollywood invest in people from the other side of the states? Invest in people. Invest in people. That could be taken a couple of different ways. I'm not sure that you can, well, I think I know what you mean. That's a really, you know what? That's one of my favorite television programs. Three's Company. That was a really funny show. And I like physical comedy too. And there was a lot of that going on that show. Gold Prospect King said hi. Yeah, I can really pull off Kurt Russell, possibly. Somewhat. I really don't. I don't see it. I don't know why other people see that. But, oh well. I think I look like myself. Can I donate $50 to your account? Oh, you know what? I don't have a way to donate. I'm really just I'm on YouTube for fun for right now. It's not for an income or anything. I just like to. It may turn into that. I'm not sure. We'll see. The last Nick Unauthorized said the last movie I seen was Fast and Furious. I don't remember what number. I don't remember what number movie, but Kurt Russell played a guy called Me X. Really? Bob. I take back what I said. I realized you were just behind in the chat. Have a good one, man. Thank you. Wow. Now the chat's going fast. CJ548 said, I talked to a girl once. Hope you had a nice conversation. Well, Gold Prospect King, if you're talking about employment and stuff like that, you know what I would do? If you're able-bodied and you really want to work, I would go look for a job in Charlotte, North Carolina, metropolitan area, Raleigh, North Carolina, Dallas, Fort Worth area. Yeah. Or Austin or Houston or the Seattle, Tacoma metropolitan areas. Those are the areas that are doing really well that right off the top of my head, that I know there's a lot of work, all kinds of work. Doesn't matter what you do for a living, I don't think. A lot of work there in those metropolitan areas. I mean, I wouldn't, as a young person, I would not go to Southern California looking for work. Not now. Well, if I missed anybody, am I a vampire? No. I like Three's Company too. When in the early 80s, when I was a toddler, your ideas look at. I was born in 1966. I can't remember how old I was. I was like 12 or 13 when I saw that television show come on, and I thought that was hilarious. I don't even know if they could pull a show off like that nowadays. That'd be. Yes, I am. You were born in 1981. So at Unc James 22, if you've ever watched like reruns of Three's Company, you remember when in on the show, the actor that played the He played the manager of the apartment complex. He would say something like unbelievably funny and then look directly in the camera and be cracking himself up, like laughing at what he just said. What was his name? He was a very, I can't remember what the actor's name was, but he was really funny. Be 45 in October. Feels different to be 45, doesn't it? I'm 59. I know what it feels like to be 45. You're like, you're not old, but you're like, wow. You're not running as fast as you did when you were 25, but you know what? I didn't really feel like my body. I jump around all over the place. But what do you want? I'm manic depressive, right? I go into a mania sometimes. I think when I got to be around, I think like maybe 4 years ago, when I was around 55 or 56, like maybe 3 years ago, I started noticing that I better not, like when I get up in the morning, I better not like move too fast. Like my brain, I'm moving so fast. If I move too fast, I'll pull something like a muscle, a ligament or something, and I'll hurt for like a whole week. It's different. You can't just jump out of bed in the morning, you know? I couldn't. Not at 56. No, I had to like get up, just take it easy, stand up, you know. I stretch every morning. Yeah, I mean, I like stretch. I want to learn how to do yoga. I mean, I don't know how. I'm probably going to figure it out. Maybe go to a class or something like that. But yeah, but I stretch now in the mornings. Yeah, I do, and it kind of prevents me from hurting myself. I think people like all age differently. Oh yes, you have. He played in Mayberry too. Was that Norman Fell? I think that's who the actor's name was. Norman Fell. He was really funny. Stanley Rover. That's funny. Yeah, Norman Fell. That's right. Yeah, he was an actor a long time before I was even born. Anastasia Toussaint. I love Guy Madison. Yes, it does. 45. Old people think I'm young, and young people think I'm old. I mean, yeah, they act like that. I know. There is a lot of ageism going on. I don't know why. Is this Johnny Cash's brother? No. You still walk about 2 miles a day? That's good. You know, I used to walk a lot. I used to walk up and down Ventura Boulevard. I would like walk all the way to, would walk from, I just keep walking and keep walking and keep walking west until I ran into Topanga Canyon Boulevard, and then maybe cross the street and or turn around and just walk all the way back to, okay, let me see that. Yeah, the actor's name. I'm pretty right about that. Oh, look into the CJ54A says look into the plant-free carnivore diet for great health. I've always been a person that believes, and my doctors have told me to eat a certain amount of animal protein at least every other day. I had a doctor that told me that the 8 essential amino acids, I think there's many amino acids. I don't know. Maybe there's 22, 24. I don't know. I heard from my doctor that the 8 essential amino acids only come from animal protein, animal products. But what does he know? He's only an 85-year-old still working doctor who's still alive and still goes to work part-time. I think he knows what he's talking about. Real Lucadon 77. Hi. 2. Hello, my African friend. Where'd you think I lived? You want to move to California? Do you have a job hooked up, lined up for you? If not, or if you're not independently wealthy, I would recommend not coming to California unless you got something hooked up. You know, got family here. You got family in California, or you got a job hooked up. You got some cash to move with, or you're independently wealthy. Other than that, I would not want to move to California right now. That's just my personal opinion. If you have the money to move comfortably, yeah, sure. And you have family there, good. What part of California? Irvine's nice. It's not for everybody, but there is a semblance of law and order there. It's just not a lot of crime there or anything. It's really nice. Kind of like Irvine. Yeah, it's nice. Alicio Viejo is nice. Let's see, Huntington Beach. All those places are nice out there. Orange County overall, I think, is kind of better managed than LA County. That's just my personal opinion. It's expensive to live in Orange County. You're going to be working a lot. Unless you're like a millionaire. Even if you're a millionaire, you're still probably going to be working if you live in Orange County. It's expensive. Yeah, underscore James 22. Thank you very much. Let's get this guy to 1,000 subs. Yeah, that's a fantastic idea. You know what? I want to let everybody know. Thank you for coming in to watch Hollywoodland22. Thank you for hitting the like and subscribe button. It's fun and it's easy. Please stop filming and do some real life stuff, like stop being a dork. Really? You think I'm a dork? Do you? Let's ask everybody that's watching right now if they think I'm a dork. I bet you everybody does. You know, I never did know what a dork was. I'm going to have to Google that. You know, I would occasionally call somebody a dork ever since like the late 1970s when I was still a child. You know, I called them a dork. You know, I used to say things like that. But I never knew what a dork was. Let's Google it. I'm sure somebody can Google that. My sister used to call me a spork. That's like half a spoon, half fork, like the things you get at like Wendy's or Burger King. Okay. A spork. Real Lucadon 77. I will be back. Maybe he's looking it up. That'd be great. I'm like 330 away from 1K. Let's get there at the same time. At UNC underscore James 22. Yeah, we both need to get to 1,000 subscribers. That's what we need to do. I think that's an excellent idea. You know, it's a really good idea. To try to be nice to people if you're going to live stream. Try your hardest. I am. Remember, sticks and stones. Tata Malakinus 8444. I'm joking. A spork. I want to know it. I want to know what it is too. Yes. Glasses on and off 300 times. Stop. These things hurt. Like they make, I gotta get better reading glasses. These things, when I put them on, they like hurt my eyes. I think they're like too strong or something. Wait, maybe I have some glasses that are not as strong. You want me to look? Let's take a look. Okay. Oh, I have to let you know about some really important, fantastic YouTubers. I shall return in 1 minute. Yes. Oh my God, why? I got a lot of people on my chat. I'm not used to it. I'm really not. I'm taking this down to 75 for right now because it's way too hot. Yeah, it's only like 24 degrees out there. Hey, who's making all that noise? Who's making all that noise out there? I've had just about enough. I was dreaming of a white Christmas, but it just didn't happen. I didn't get a white Christmas. I got a white January the 31st.
Yeah. Exactly.
I just want everybody to remember that only you can prevent forest fires. Do not play with matches. It's not funny. I got new reading glasses. You know, these make me look really old too. At UNC _ James 22. Yes, sir. I will shout you out in one of my artificial intelligence cartoon videos. Thank you very much. Muchas gracias. At Unk _ James 22. Worst case 1221. How's it going, buddy? Pretty good. Pretty good today. I'm not used to having a chat fly like this. I can't believe I'm talking with Dad from Malcolm in the Middle. This is so cool. Silly Goose, silly.goose.2.0. Trippy Stepper, old ass. Trippy Stepper, Rabbit Tooth. Wow. Would you check this, handsome hunk? Solid 10-10. Well, I thank you for the compliment. I gotta get that fixed. That's really bad, isn't it? That's horrible. Okay. See what happens. Where do you think I got that, in a street fight? Fred Martins, 297. What's up, Kurt Russell? Weirdo is a fool, Trippy Stepper. Oh, you think I'm a fool? Really? Dickie the Troll. He's so handsome. James 20 _ James 22. He ain't old. Thank you. Thank you for being my friend, James 22. Passport bro. Adam the Woo. Adam Lambert. I 1805. Silly.goose.2.0. Do you have a problem with trolls? Then call 1-800-TROLLBUSTERS. Mention this ad and receive an additional 20% off. I have a question for everybody watching me. Do you think I troll? Just something to think about. Maybe I don't. Maybe I do. There's a lot of platforms. I wonder what platforms I'm on. I just don't feel like telling anybody right now. That's the wonderful thing about being human. You can just sit there and not say anything if you don't want to. Dome arigato, Mr. Rabato. You think this is funny, don't you, Ashley? Drinking beers in Australia, brother. Have a great day, man. Thanks. That's someplace I want to go, Australia, but in particular.
It's summertime there.
Well,
In Australia.
yeah, I would imagine it is summertime. I want to go to Perth. Everybody else wants to go to Melbourne. I want to go to Perth. I don't know why. I want to go to the end of the earth in Perth. I wish I was there right now. Be Lion 070. You should. New Zealand. I want to go to New Zealand too. What is that? Auckland? Is that the big city there? I want to check these places out. That's on my bucket list. You look like you and Hollywood Star. Thank you. Thank you for saying that I look like me at MD1084. Thank you very much. My mom trolls me in real life. Really? That's funny. Yes, my mother trolls me also. Well, you on YouTube. That's correct. I am on YouTube. I may or may not be on other platforms. No, I lived in Hollywood for a while. I moved out of there. I moved to a different part of Los Angeles. It's kind of a transient area. Well, Central Hollywood is a transient area. It wasn't really for me. Ash Huron said hi. And that main course. Huey Lewis. Ashley. Oh, Ashley. I'm going to tattletale on you. How dare you? How dare you? You'll never guess what.
What? What is it? Never guess.
You'll never guess what.
What?
These glasses are like, they gotta go. They're just too big. They look like, what do they look like?
Buddy Holly.
They look like the kind of those big ass glasses that
wore back in the day.
Back in like the 30s and stuff.
No,
that old guys and guys that were old
60s.
In the 50s and 60s used to wear. Mike Thompson, 8881 says, tell Ashley to shut her damn mouth.
You don't say that. That's not very nice.
To who?
To me.
To Mike Thompson, 8881.
You don't say that. That's not appropriate.
You know, talk that way to a.
You don't talk that way. You know better. I don't have to say anything else.
To a former deputy sheriff.
That's not a very wise thing to do.
Okay, Sandy the squirrel. I'm going to get you dirty.
I'll show you, Sandy the squirrel.
What did you say? Sandy
I'll get you, Dirty Diane.
We're not going to tell you the truth about that one. Maybe later on we'll tell you that one.
Maybe.
MD 1084. Back to the Future. Virtual cheers from America, brother. We're slamming beers. Cheers, everyone. Says at Ace-PT1VZ. Yes, my mom is 71 years old and an Aries. Mom, you're a Libra? You're a Libra. I'm a Cancerian. I'm a late June Cancerian. Libras and Cancerians make good business partners, is what I heard. Some astrology lady.
No wonder you're
And
such a moody person.
what do you call it? An astrology lady. Some lady that was really into astrology that was like, I don't know, like a professional. I think she was a Hungarian gypsy. I'm not sure. She was somewhere in some little hole in the wall establishment in Studio City, California. She told me about Libras and Cancers. Huey Lewis.
I'm a Taurus.
A couple times in my life, yeah.
I'm not moody at all.
Ashley voice. I like Ashley voice. Sounds like a newscaster.
Hmm?
You sound like a newscaster?
Me?
Really?
No.
What do I sound like? Oh, I know. Somebody said that I was a dork.
A dork.
Really?
Mm.
You think so?
Okay.
Could you imagine some dude calling me a dork in the parking lot at 2 o'clock in the morning in Van Nuys? I don't think so. He wouldn't do it, dude.
People say things online, but they wouldn't say it to your face.
Yeah, you wouldn't say it to my face.
If they see you in public.
I can't remember who said that. Some.
Some
You
child.
sound like a Hollywood actor better than Matt Damon.
Matt Damon.
Matt Damon's a really good actor.
Yes, he is.
Oh, what was that series of films he was in? Well, I think it was some kind of a film where the government used him
CIA. Was it
and then
CIA?
thought that they dumped him off the side of a boat. Some Russian fisherman caught him, and then
Jason Bourne.
yeah, Jason Bourne. That series, I saw that. And what was the first in the first film? In the beginning of the film, something about they tried to get rid of him, and then some Russian fisherman found him or something
Mm-hmm.
in the water, picked him up, and he's trying to figure out who is that. Is that how it went? Was he trying to figure out who he was?
Yeah, on the fishing boat. Yeah.
Oh, that was a great film.
It was a
They're
series.
really good writers, in my personal opinion. But what do I know? I'm not an expert.
Neither.
Yeah, Jason Bourne. That was a great set of movies.
I'm gonna be watching.
You sound like the man who used to sponsor the Rose Parade. What was his name? Rick something. I don't know. At one point in my life, I was a salesman. No, I never did any announcing jobs or anything like that. I think I have a second cousin that did radio for a little while. Ace-PT1VZ. Sound like you could be a radio guy. You probably, yeah. Well, I have a cousin that
I'm watching a show.
he either did. I think he did some radio when he was in college. It's strange because he sounds like I sound like him.
I'm going to bed.
He really has a voice that sounds more like a traditional, like old-fashioned radio announcer. Yeah, second cousin of mine. one of my father's cousins. He sounds like one of those older radio announcers. Oh, much more than I do. Really? Well, there seems to be quite a few people that pop into my live that think they recognize me. Well, you know what? At my age, even living in a big city, I really stayed in a certain area. I did not go very far. I don't know. There might be some people from all over the country that come in that area. Maybe it's a transient city and people. Yeah, I don't recognize. Some people do. I don't know where they recognize me from. Or I'll ask them. I'll be like, "Where are you from?" And if anybody recognizes me since I started doing this live streaming, it's either from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, where I'm from, or it's from somebody that knows me from the San Fernando Valley somewhere, like somebody that actually knew me or something. Can you imagine how many people you see in a day? It's amazing. Fly, Eagles, fly. Yeah. Oh, Jessica Biel. I've heard that name. Isaac Slade. Oh, you went to school with both of them. I've heard of those names. I really haven't. I really don't. I haven't watched television in years. In years and years. You're in Colorado. Been to Aurora, Colorado. I've been to Lakewood, Colorado. No, I'm not. I'm not MD 1084. If in my downtime, I have some people some channels I watch on YouTube. Or I watch some funny videos on YouTube or TikTok sometimes. TikTok I don't really like as much as YouTube. Maiden Rule 73 says, my uncle once drank a gallon of varnish. He had a horrible death, but a lovely finish. Oh my God. Ace Dash PT1VZ. What's your favorite state? Of all the states that I've traveled to, that's a good question. I don't know if I have a favorite state. I have favorite parts of the United States. Maybe not the whole state, but there's parts of Pennsylvania that I really like. I like central Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania Dutch territory. I like that area, especially in the spring and the summertime, or in the autumn too. I enjoyed my time in Washington State. I lived there for 3 years. I used to really enjoy living in California until about, I don't know, maybe I started to have where I was living in California in the city of Los Angeles specifically started to change. Maybe around 2009, well, 10, 11, 12, somewhere in that time. And by 2016, it started to have a lot of, in my opinion, it had a lot of issues going on. A lot of societal issues, crime, people that didn't have a place to live and stuff, a lot of trash on the streets and stuff. It started to seem to be not the Los Angeles I moved to. I'm sure that things are going to get fixed up there eventually. But it's nice that the weather's really nice. You know what? I'll have to say that the coastal parts of California, the Mediterranean climate is quite pleasant. It's a little sunnier in Los Angeles than San Diego. San Diego has a little bit more cloud cover, but it's much drier in San Diego though. It's odd. San Diego is kind of semi-arid. I would say Los Angeles is more like a Mediterranean climate, like you might find, I don't know, maybe in some southern parts of Italy. It's like springtime most of the time. It can get cold in Los Angeles at nighttime in December, January. A little chilly, like at the beach or something like that. You'd be surprised. You get down to like, you know. Rocket Balboa, 5485. Hi there. What the fuck we got here? You got Randy. You can call me Randy. Rush Shake, 6326. Aye. Question. Yeah, Ace. That Mediterranean climate's fantastic. Maybe it's more like, what is a place that has a similar climate to Los Angeles? From what I've read, I don't know if you've ever been to Europe because I haven't ever been there. Barcelona, Spain, maybe Sicily, something like that. But it can rain there. And there's a mountain chain that goes right through the middle of the city of Los Angeles, the Santa Monica Mountains on the eastern end. I think it's called the Hollywood Hills. It's not technically a mountain, but you know, it's interesting because in the wintertime, you can have really nice weather in the interior of the San Fernando Valley, which is the northern part of Los Angeles, of the city. And you can go up into the Hollywood Hills or in the Santa Monica Mountains and you have like snowflakes coming through, or a little ice storm up there in December, late December. It's happened in recent years too. It was a trip. Oh, I'm sorry. Back in the January of 2023, I was getting an MRI or a CAT scan, one or the other. And one of the part of Cedars-Sinai, or a building adjacent to Cedars-Sinai, in the Beverly Hills area. I was waiting for a taxi to go back home, and it got down to, the wind was blowing really hard. This was January 2023. Does anybody remember that is there anybody here that was in Los Angeles or in Southern California in the winter of 2022-23? In January or February, one of those months, it got down to about 29 degrees. I believe it got down to 29 degrees. That's with the wind chill factor. In the Los Angeles basin, and even colder up there in Van Nuys. Man, it got cold. I never felt it that cold before. Not around there. YouTube. Hello. I went to Oregon. I've been to Oregon. I've been to Portland. No, no, I've never done that for a living. Rocket Balboa, 5485. I was a salesman at one point. I've been in retail. There's 3 people here. That would be crazy if one of us was. I liked Oregon. I really did. MD1084 says, good night, Ashley. Chevy 5-Speed says, hi, host. MD1084. Okay, have a good night, Hollywoodland21. You too. Thank you for coming in. Well, it's about that time. It's about that time for me to split. But before I do, I'm going to mention a few YouTubers I think you might like. And you might not, but I would recommend these YouTubers. McHenry Cruiser. He's the schizophrenic rock star with a jawline chiseled by Zeus himself. McHenry Cruiser. He's a funny guy. Also, you need to go watch Anderson Henderson on YouTube. Another YouTuber is VP Gloves. He's somewhere in Southern California, going from motel to motel. And on TikTok, or whatever's left of it, I would recommend that you watch Human Scab, aka Scabzilla. She's funny. She's a good conversationalist, and she's smart too. She's really intelligent. Also, you can watch Miss Fucking Wonderful. She's on TikTok. She's probably on right now. I think you'll really enjoy watching her show. She has a YouTube channel too. I think it's, I'm not sure what it is. I'm not sure what it's called. I'd have to ask her because the channels change sometimes. The names do. Miss Fucking Wonderful. That's Miss F and a V instead of a U and the rest of the word and the wonderful. Miss Fucking Wonderful. Who else on TikTok? Maybe one more person. Oh, Wawa Baby. All in capital letters. WAWABABY. Wawa Baby. She is a singer. She's a musician. She has original material. It's really good. And she is multi-talented, and she is also very funny. And I think you would really like her a lot. She's a really good vocalist. She has some really good songs too. She has a couple. I'm going to have to write down some of the names of the songs she has, but you should check them out. I think you can listen to them on Spotify. But go ask Wawa Baby. I think she I don't know if she has an album. I think she has something coming out soon. You'd have to ask her. Check her channel out. She'll make you laugh too. She's a pretty good gamer. Some people that you see on TikTok or YouTube that have channels that are fairly successful, they're multi-talented. And a good visual artist too. Excellent visual artist. Hard work does pay off, doesn't it? UNC_James22. Yeah, I remember watching him younger. Origin of Meme. Ben Affleck. Huh? Absolutely. That's so funny. Snap am the one and only. I bet you something. It was cool. What do you bet me? I double dog dare you to say it. James_Reacher. Model in 2026. You guys are funny. You know what? Thank you, everyone, for coming in tonight. Thank you for hitting the like and subscribe button. You're beautiful. I'll be back tomorrow. There's a lot of ice and snow out there in North Carolina. I don't think I'm going to be going anywhere. We'll see. Stay safe. Thank you for coming in this evening.